The following information is about the energy of the number 2, whether it's your personality, the day that you were born on, or your life purpose, your life path number, or even the energy of a certain cycle that you might be currently experiencing. In general, as far as life path and purpose are concerned, the energy of the number 2 is the pursuit of finding cooperation and balance. If you can imagine 2 hands, one open and offering, the other clenched in a fist of resistance, which hand do you put forward most? Do you hold out both hands in equal measure? Do you allow yourself to receive as much as you give? Do you overhelp and then you resent it? Where does your responsibility and that of others begin? Are you able to find a happy balance in your life? Individuals who are working 2 as part of their life purpose or their personality challenges are here to clarify the limits of their responsibility and learn to work with others in a spirit of harmony, balance, and mutual support. And because our life purpose is usually an uphill climb, those working with 2 as a primary energy might face the challenge of balancing their compelling sense of responsibility to others with their own inner needs and limitations. Balance might feel like a major challenge in the life of a 2 personality. The balance between giving and receiving, between saying yes and saying no, between the value of thoughts and the value of your feelings, between the needs of yourself and the needs of others. In order to achieve outer balance, especially in terms of cooperation, the 2 personality will first need to resolve their internal conflicts and internal contradictions. Inner cooperation can pose special difficulties for the 2 personality. It's as if they have 2 people inside of them, sitting side by side in a rowboat in the middle of a lake. One of these people is rich, the other is poor. One is Republican, the other is Democrat. One is tall, the other one is short. One is male, the other is female. One is heavy, the other is thin, and so on. One might also be a believer and the other a skeptic. But despite all of these apparent differences, these 2 people in the same boat, the values, beliefs, opinions, ideas, and motivations are often in conflict with one another, and they are going to have to learn how to row together and cooperate if they want to reach the other shore. One simple way that a 2 personality can start creating an internal sense of balance and integration is by wearing bright, contrasting colors that are coordinated. So I'm reading this from a book, so I find this interesting. It is recommending color therapy. Okay, the essence of cooperation through balance. Imagine for a moment what the world might look like if cooperation did not exist. Isolated humans working alone, with all of their potential, would produce practically nothing. In fact, they probably wouldn't survive very long. Erecting even a single building requires a cooperative network of architects, engineers, builders, and secretaries. These are all specialists in many different fields. Human civilization is founded on people working together in relationship, cooperating towards common goals. For the 2 personality, true cooperation and support often involve doing less and allowing others to do more, and thereby discover their own abilities, their own strength, and the boundaries of their responsibility in any given situation. So the possible challenges along their path, the same qualities that make a 2 personality such great potential assets to society can also be their own undoing. Wanting so much to be helpful, they may chronically subordinate their own needs to the needs of others, going beyond loving sacrifice and healthy altruism into servitude. They might ignore or discount their feelings and their needs, and they may end up doing what they or someone else thinks that they should do rather than what they really should be doing. Most of these people start out in over-cooperating or being a codependent or enabling behavior patterns based on what other people are telling them they should or should not do. And if they continue in this manner, when they die, when they pass away, they may see someone else's life passing before their eyes. Feeling responsible for other people, other people's happiness and lives, having trouble saying no, over-committing, or ignoring their limits and their boundaries, they take on more than they actually need to. And then they might feel resentment for a situation that they created themselves. Not all codependents are working the number 2, but where others are amateur enablers, the 2s are professionals. And if they haven't yet defined their boundaries and limits of responsibility, they can find a renewed sense of inner peace and joy while participating in mutual support with other people. So something else that a number 2 person should consider, there is a significant force or a difference between those people who think in terms of what they should do or what others should do and what it should be like. They might also feel vulnerable to other people's needs and demands, absorbing the other person's energy, and they may often feel confused about the right decision or the right action to take. They may often ask themselves, they might often ask other people, what do you think I should do? And so until a 2 personality can learn to act on the basis of what they truly feel, their service won't last long. If they don't feel good about what they're doing, cooperation will eventually turn into conflict, and it will begin to feel overwhelming, and this can shift their mindset into an under-cooperation. In these early stages, these individuals swing from giving too much to a stubborn resistance, resenting both themselves and those that they have helped. They may shut down at this point because they want things their own way, with no compromise. In fact, some 2 personalities who have over-cooperated for most of their life can later get stuck in a state of chronic resentment, doing what they think everyone else is expecting of them, instead of listening to their own intuition. Friends or loved ones may wonder what happened to cause the sudden change in attitude, and they might perceive these people as being stubborn, unfair, or self-centered. But behind their stubbornness lies a feeling of helplessness, a fear of being overwhelmed by the other people, a core belief that if they give another inch, others will take a mile. And because our beliefs influence our experience, others sometimes do take that mile away from us. So again, the key element for finding a cooperative balance for a two personality is to learn the difference between supporting others or being in servitude for others. I think the difference here is supporting other people based on their own strengths, their beliefs, and what they have to offer. Servitude is more like just self-sacrificing, doing what they think everyone else is telling them to do is what they're supposed to be doing. So this in itself can create a conflict of interest. In relationships, their partners might unintentionally take advantage of them by asking too much or expecting them to do more and more until they overreact. In personal romantic relationships, a true personality might over-cooperate, meaning they may do more of what someone else wants them to do without considering that they have their own needs and desires too. But then one imbalance will soon create another imbalance within, which can cause resentment. So until a two personality can establish healthy boundaries for themselves, they need to avoid situations of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, and to remember that anyone of any age has the right to say no at any time when it comes to bodies and feelings. If something doesn't feel right to them, the two personality needs to honor their feeling and communicate that as strongly as possible to the other. Some other issues that a two personality might be dealing with is believing that something that's happening is somebody else's fault. Or maybe they're trying to express to other people, it's not my fault. So assigning blame will help this personality to relieve their own internal pressure, since sometimes they can feel responsible for everything. And in order to succeed in resolving outer conflicts and achieving balanced cooperation, those working this energy first need to resolve their internal conflict, the conflict and cooperation and balance between giving and receiving. But they also have an exaggerated sense of responsibility to others. So most of these people overthink in the form of obsessive worry or over-analysis, and then they bounce from one mental preoccupation and they start experiencing overly reactive emotions and become overwhelmed thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do? Achieving mental and emotional balance is an opportunity, but maybe also a challenge for the two personality. When they weigh and sort opposing values to make a decision for themselves, they have trouble sometimes choosing one over the other. And most of us have potentially conflicting beliefs, values, and desires that are filed away in our minds. Reasons to get out of bed, and reasons to pull the covers back, or reasons to get married, or to have children, or to stay single, or maybe they want to remain childless. The list is endless. And for most of us, these apparent opposites somehow coexist. But for the number two personality, these opposing values are like two children who both want to ride in the front seat of the car. Resolving these conflicts poses a challenge. And the personality number two hates to disappoint other people. So as they mature and they learn to take responsibility for their own life, instead of feeling responsible for everybody else's, they will stop blaming others for their own inner conflicts, and they will begin to establish healthy limits for themselves. They can find a balance between what's okay and what is not okay. They might need to learn to choose between what they are happy to do for someone else and what they definitely do not want to do for somebody else. They can learn when to say yes and how to say no. And so emotional stress will happen when the mind resists what is happening. And when resistance changes, it might make them feel like they are out of control. They may also feel mental conflict, emotional stress, physical tension. Racing thoughts will also impose general muscular tension, which compromises the lymphatic system in the body and also the immune system. But most 2 personalities don't get ill because of their emotions, but allergies might become a problem for them, especially in times of stress. So whether they have a wiry, muscular, or a wide body, if they have intrinsic physical strength and sturdiness, they should also claim personal vigor and perseverance. They have a lot of deep inner strength that is available to them. And the strength can also manifest as stubbornness, rigidity, or tension. So, because of all of these things, this person can benefit from a meditation practice, dance, yoga, martial arts, Tai Chi, all of which can help them to relax, respond, and find a happy flow in their daily routine. But also keep in mind, anything that we do, we can also overdo or not do enough of. So the 2 personality in particular needs to develop a higher balance as they fulfill their life purpose. Balance is the essential catalyst that will lead this person towards the summit of their own mountain life path and destiny. When they find and claim this intrinsic inner and outer strength, these people can work hard to improve situations and support other people. Once they find a clear goal for themselves, they can cooperate for the common good as well. Many of these people have strong ambition, and they can become leaders in any field that they choose. But they most often serve a larger cause in a support capacity in cooperation with others. They will find the most fulfillment when supporting other people as in groups, as a leader, not a follower, because such a role is aligned with their true life purpose. At the highest level of awareness of themselves, a 2 personality can transcend the concept of cooperating with others and see others as a part of their larger self. This realization dissolves resentment. It will allow them to take complete responsibility for their life, and it results in their having equal respect for themselves and other people as well. They can truly become a source of loving service in the world. This concludes the information about the personality of the number 2. I do read this information from books that I have purchased at any time. If you are interested in the titles of these books, if you would like to purchase it, please do let me know, and I'll be more than happy to share the link for you to check that out. Wishing you a wonderful day. Bye for now.